Hi everyone, my name is Alberta and welcome to episode 14 of the Get Hitched live wedding chat show. Today we're going to have a special guest. Her name is Elaine Vella. She takes care of GB Jewelers. We're going to be talking about wedding rings, engagement rings, all jewellery for brides, your bridal team, mother of the bride and everything. So I'm just going to invite Elaine over. Hi Elaine.
Hi. Hi,
Hey, all
good
right.
morning.
Good
Good,
morning.
thank you. I'm good.
Cool. How's everything?
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
I'm excited for today's show. I believe it's the first time we're going to be talking about jewelry and everything that there is to go about with regards to weddings and engagement rings and everything. So I'm excited
It's
for this one.
well, the wedding rings could be one of the most important thing that you really need. I mean, you need a pair of rings to get married, so
Exactly. And
let's
they're
put it
there
that
for
way.
with you for life. So I mean you're going
Exactly.
to be
So
looking at this every single day.
important, yes. Good.
Super. But first of all, I would like to perhaps see if you can introduce yourself for our viewers on the show today.
So my name is Elaine Vella. As GB Jewelers, we have been established since 1983. We're, let's say, a third generation jewelry family-run business, being that my grandparents, my grandma especially, started the business from the 1950s.
Wow.
So
Okay.
she started from scratch and worked her way up. My father took over the business then when he was in his 20s, and he's now soon to be retired. Let's put it that way. The business keeps on going. We've always grown. My father has grown the business as well. I mean, he started with one shop, which we've grown as such. Even now, we've made even larger through renovations. But we now run 3 shops.
Very good.
In
And what are the
Birkirkara.
locations?
We've got our main, let's say, shop in Birkirkara. We're on the main road. We've got another one in the Strand Gżira, which is quite large. We've got all the giftware and everything over there as well. And we also have Mikhail Dealer. It's under Mikhail Dealer in Valletta and Zachary Street, where there people can find mostly watches and some jewelry pieces. But we're mainly based on watches.
Very good.
Let's say our product portfolio evolved along the years. We started mainly with just jewelry and diamonds, but now we also carry fashion jewelry, some different items. We carry giftware as well, watches, all the different prices. I mean, we have quite a vast portfolio to cater pretty much for anyone's needs and wants. So
Very good. And you have
it's
very,
growing.
very central locations. So anyone from anywhere all over Malta, they're going to find an outlet that is convenient to find, and they're going to find all the products that you sell in every single different outlet.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, our locations are very central, as you said. Also, our product portfolio goes from let's say, the most generic, I mean, cheaper, let's say, necklace in silver or something, to diamond earrings and engagement rings. Go.
Hi. We have a special guest.
To diamond engagement rings. So even in watches, we start from watches of around €20 up to €8,000. So we have a very wide portfolio to cater for everyone. And we don't only just sell products, but we also give a lot of services for jewelry repair, jewelry cleaning, watch battery, watch straps. Even we change for new movements on watches and clocks as well. So we pretty much give a whole service area of services
and even
as
after.
well. Yes.
Super.
So we go all the way. So our clients will be served throughout whatever they need.
Amazing. And even just before we go in, because I know today we're going to mainly be talking about wedding rings and everything, but even before we come to the wedding, there is the engagement ring. Like, do you have any tips like on choosing the right engagement ring for that lovely lady, or vice versa?
Of course. So with regards to engagement rings, we always depart from a kind of budget, because obviously that will define exactly what you can buy. However, I just tell people, don't be discouraged that engagement rings have to be something very expensive, because you can buy a lovely engagement ring with 300-400 euro, and obviously if your budget takes you further than that, you can up your budget to whatever price. I mean, there's no end really to a price for an engagement ring, but you can choose whatever fits your budget. Also, what we've seen also, let's say the trends also changing. An engagement ring does not have to be solely like diamonds, because we know that a diamond engagement ring, even to go up to a certain size, obviously your budget has to kind of shoot up a bit as well. However, there's other alternatives people can have as engagement rings, and they can also go into colored stones.
In fact,
still precious stones.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Exactly. And you can have a really lovely ring with a bit of a larger stone, maybe with some diamonds on the side, or like a halo kind of with little diamonds. And the center stone would be maybe an emerald or a blue sapphire, or other semi-precious stones, just such as aquamarine, or we've also had some with morganite as well, amethyst, depending on, let's say, the coloring that for maybe the person actually prefers. I also had a custom-made ring done for a client of ours with a Tahitian pearl.
Very good. In fact, I was going to ask this, like, because I know when you go into a jeweler, there's always the pre-designed designs, but then is it a common trend that people first say have a specific gem or stone and they want a custom ring made for it?
So we have obviously the ready-made ones that we stock for someone maybe who's also in a hurry. However, we also have some rings which are just mounts. So the center stone is not there. You won't have like maybe the design of the ring with some side stones or some stones around the top. And then you can choose your preferred center stone. If it is a diamond, we can choose the kind of diamond that you prefer. We also have like IGI or GIA certified diamonds, which we can mount.
So over there we can. Sorry, I'm not very. I have no understanding in the language between jewelers.
With diamonds, when you're going into a certain size, for example at 30 points and up, you can get international certification. All our diamond jewelry always goes out with a diamond certificate, even if you just take like a wedding ring with one single stone, we'll still give you a certification for that diamond. However, when you go into certain sizes, some people also prefer to alternately also have an international certificate. Over there, there are different international gemological agencies that offer their certification, and they are renowned obviously all around the world. And nowadays also the diamonds are also laser inscribed on the diamond itself. So you've got the diamond and the certificate number, which always match together. Okay. It's a kind of way to have maybe some more reassurance that what you're getting is what it is. Obviously, it's not something like very cheap, so you always go to a reputable jeweler where you're buying it from and make sure you always get certification, even if it's not the international certificate, because obviously to get that you're paying a bit of a surcharge to get that certificate.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're not buying a car where then the value is depreciating on this. This is there that is going to remain with you.
Exactly.
So, I mean, the value and the amount of money that you're spending on it to have a certain certification.
It's going to remain. So like that, you would be kind of have your mindset on what you want. So, as I said, the types of diamonds that we can mount vary, and although we actually keep a number of stones in stock, if what you're looking for is not available in stock, we can source it for you, and it will be available in a short amount of time. We've got a number of sources since we've been in the business for a very long time. So we have a lot of contacts abroad, and apart from these past 2 months where it was very hard to get things from abroad because obviously everything was kind of shut down, generally everything is very smooth running, and we can get things done quite fast. But as you said, for custom made rings, even if you have a specific design and we don't have that kind of mount in stock, we can also have it made to your liking. If it's in white gold, yellow gold, or rose gold, or maybe a two-tone shade, it's not a problem, and we can have it made as well. So pretty much your choices are quite endless. Just make sure you've got the right budget that you'd want to work with, and then we can take it from there and give you the right choices.
Budget is always the main core.
Unfortunately,
what you want to spend first, and then you start building with
that. And then we start, because it's useless if you come to the shop and tell me, like, just show me. I mean, I can show you from 400 to 5,000. I mean, but I'm sure everyone has a
thing that's X amount and like
exactly.
4 times.
I mean, then it's out of your budget. You don't want to be in the position where you like a ring that you can't buy.
Agreed.
Because then you won't really fall in love with whatever you can. Because I mean, I think it's something like it goes unsaid that obviously if the diamond is larger or the stone is larger, you're going to like
paying for what you're getting at the end of the day.
But having a preset price, having a preset price, I mean, at least a price range. I mean, if you go up by 100, 200 euro, then you're pretty much in the same area. But a difference from seeing a ring that one you can buy in your price range and one that costs 1,000 euro more, it's a bit of a difference. So not everyone can, stretch then that far. Everyone has, but rings are available in any price. So again, you don't need to spend thousands of euro to get a nice ring.
Yes.
There are a lot of elements that we can guide you with, how we can get the ring that you prefer and the price range that you're comfortable in spending. Cool. And also, I mean, something that we've also been going into as well, for someone maybe that would like to buy a ring, but maybe he doesn't have it all saved up. So you want to choose it, and because obviously it's something that you will like pre-plan in advance. And you want to choose the ring, pay a deposit, and then pay it in like 3 months' time. You can pay it a bit in installments as well.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So it's not, because since it's a bit of a big purchase, maybe you don't feel like your heart going out with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit subtle. It's a bit subtle.
I think there's a lot of different points with a wedding that a lot of different suppliers do try and accommodate, so that a person is not forking out X amount, but at least you have these installments to help you out. I wanted to ask you, before we go into the next question and we start talking more about wedding rings, if you see any particular common trends at the moment for everyone watching with regards to the engagement rings.
So lately we've been having a lot of requests for engagement rings having diamonds on the sides or a halo style as well. So having diamonds around the top as well, and it also makes it visually kind of look a bit bigger. The only thing kind of that I suggest to anyone who's choosing an engagement ring, keep in mind that an engagement ring is not a ring that's going to be worn on its own. So let's say the idea is always to have obviously the wedding ring, which you're going to be wearing together. So keep in mind that the style has to kind of stack up properly with another band, with another wedding ring.
It's a very good point.
Because some people just, for example, if you're going for like a cluster style, and the base is very wide, you're going to end up with a very big gap between the engagement ring and the wedding ring. It's not that it's not nice as an engagement ring, because clusters have been around for a long time, but you either have to be set that it's okay to have that gap. Nowadays, we also, in fact, have wedding rings which are shaped in a way to fit around engagement rings as well. So they're not straight, but they have like a little curve. A curve or a pinch to fit properly with the ring. But if you don't have these options for wedding rings that are obviously going to fit, keep that in mind. For example, one ring which is absolutely beautiful and can be mounted with various designs, and it's a big classic, we call it the Valentino style ring. So it's just a plain band, but it has the diamond twists when it rises. So there's a bit of a twist.
Ah, okay.
So the band per se is not straight. It comes a bit, sideways.
So it has a bit of a touch.
So when you stack the wedding ring on it, you're going to have a gap. We have fixed that by actually producing a custom-made ring to fit in these Valentino style rings, so that you fill in that gap. However, some people prefer to have just a plain band anyway. So I had people who actually ended up changing the amount of their engagement ring to fit straight to their wedding ring. And you don't want to get there because an engagement ring is of sentimental value as well. So after the time you spent and the money you spent to make it, you don't want to end up changing it 1-2 years down the line just because it doesn't fit with your wedding band. So that's something for people to keep in mind. Like, even if it's a surprise, obviously, for the men to actually keep that in mind. But if you're choosing it yourself, try on a wedding ring.
The right style.
try and put a wedding ring on it and see how it looks and see if you like how it stacks up together. Because at the end of the day, you're going to possibly wear them together, not separately. So that is just an idea to keep keep out there.
Thank you very much. All right, very good. I am going to mention, just for our viewers to know, that if you have any questions for Elaine, even if you already have the rings or you're looking to look or anything at all, do drop them in the comments so she'll be able to answer you while we're live in the show. Having said that, even after the show has finished, you'll be able to also still get answers from Elaine. We do have a comment here. I'm guessing this is from Ben and John at the office. They said, "Hi, ladies." So they were in a meeting out, so they're just saying hi. Thanks. I am going to take us into the next question that we have, which is, how early should a couple start searching for the right wedding rings? I don't really understand. Sort of like, do you go 3 months before? Do people look for them like 2 years in advance?
So my suggestion is between a year and 6 months. So not less than 6 months. And I think a year is enough. Why? Because firstly, we're talking about a ring size. So although generally your ring size pretty much remains the same, some people maybe tend to lose weight before the wedding. So we want to get the right size. Also, not less than 6 months, for reason being that, for example, we've got a very vast collection. We've got over 400 styles of wedding rings for a person to choose from. But what we do to have such a range, and also an element of customization to the ring, these are all samples. So they're not in gold, they're just samples for you to try on and see what you prefer, and then we will order your ring in your specific size and customization for yourself. So being that these are generally mostly foreign made, we send the orders in, they are made and they are sent out. There can be an element, postage most of the time is fine. However, it happens that maybe a package is lost in the post, or there was some kind of misunderstanding and it came out in the wrong color or in the wrong size. So we have enough time to actually get those sorted out. Also, as with regards to, like we do with the engagement rings, with the wedding rings, we also give our clients the chance to pay them within the 6-month period as well. So you've got a deposit when you pay when you choose your wedding bands. Then when they arrive, they pay a second deposit, and then when they pick them up, then if they want to leave them there, and they will pay the rest. I wouldn't leave less time, because then you're going to be the collection will have to be made smaller, because some rings take a bit longer to be made. So you have to go kind of on whatever is already samples that we can have made locally. So like that, your choices are going to be a bit more limited. Again, wedding rings is not something that much of like a fashion item. You don't have to be like in the season to choose. It's going to be a ring that you're going to wear for life. So I'm pretty sure that whatever you choose today, in a year's time, you're going to end up choosing the same ring. I mean, that actually happened to me. I had a client, literally 3 wedding fairs after each other, and chose the same style. Because
All right.
your tastes pretty much remain the same.
Yeah.
And there's only so much that wedding rings can change with regards to design. It's not like, a full new collection is out every year with some
Completely
avant-garde
different
designs.
from, exactly. There's always a standard sort of between the wedding rings and
Exactly.
the engagement rings.
Exactly.
Is there a time period that you usually target? Let's say like the couples should have the wedding rings done 2 months, at least 100% done, and in your hands 2 months before, 6 months before, 1 month before.
I don't generally specify that they have to be kind of at you so much in advance. What I do say is that if you have them early on in advance, make sure that you remember where you store them. Don't lose them.
Has that ever happened for you?
Yes. Yes, they actually lost them, and they needed a new pair because they had bought them a lot in advance. So, and then obviously, you're moving and what's not, and just things get lost. So just make sure if you have them early on in advance. That's why it's like most people go like for around the 6 mark range to have them at home, not before, because of this everyone's doing maybe renovations or painting the house, and just things start shifting around. And
all right.
And however, just do remember to buy your rings, because we had people who actually came like a week to the wedding. They just forgot to buy their wedding rings. And
really?
You can't get married without your rings, so you need a pair of rings.
You need something there.
Yes, but it's not like you have to have them at you a month in advance. Just make sure that the sizes are right. Do try them on and that the size is correct, close to the wedding, because you don't want to be, at exchanging your rings and the ring doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So it's not something you want to go through. Although I think a lot of people go through like that kind of moment where the ring just can't go, since you're not putting it on yourself, someone else is putting your ring on. It's like a bit of a...
And like, it might be June, July, and everything like it's hot and everything.
Yes. We do take that into consideration when you're ordering, when the rings are being ordered. In fact, if we see that the rings fit just right, for example, in a winter month, we say, like, do you know if your fingers swell up in summer or not? And if maybe have a June wedding, we say make sure that a month before, do try it on, see that it fits right. If it doesn't, we'll fix the size a bit, because if you're not used to wearing rings, you don't know if your finger swells up or changes size around the year. Okay. And you have to kind of find that medium size that fits best, obviously, throughout the whole year. It doesn't fall out in winter, but it's not too tight in summer.
All right. So. Okay. I have another question for you. Like, we know that peak season for weddings is May, June, July. Do you have like a certain amount of weddings that you're able to work on, sort of? Is it like a first come, first serve, or are you able to cater for everyone, endless amount of orders?
We're pretty much able to cater for any amount of orders. There's no limit. Okay. Some are spread along the year. However, generally kind of we get our, let's say, bulk orders because people wait for the wedding fair in November. So that is like one thing that where people kind of purchase them the most, and being that most weddings, as I said, are like March until August, kind of, that's the right timeline to order your rings. But since these are all on order, there's no limit on how many rings we can make. And even though obviously we make a number of different rings, it doesn't mean that you're going to, like find the next person, having exactly the same ring. If you don't go for the plainest wedding ring, there are quite a lot of different styles.
Very good. And in
adaptations
fact,
to have.
This was something I wanted to go into next. Like there are a lot of different types. Like even on Get Hitched, I see like we ask like 18 karat, there's silver, gold, a lot of. I don't know if you want to explain the different types for people to understand. Even for me to understand.
So generally, the wedding rings mostly we make in gold. So we've got a large the most, I think, maybe in 18 karat gold. However, we also offer the facility of 14 karat gold on most of our rings. And the difference here is, let's say, in the weight and the amount of gold, pure gold, let's say, which is in the ring. So over there, we're playing at a difference in price. Let's say we're going to go, obviously, the same ring, but have it a bit cheaper. It's not something that actually shows visually. So you can't tell a ring just from looking at it if it's 14 karat or 18 karat. But it's something that will explain, obviously, when the client is looking at the rings. There's obviously white, yellow, and rose gold, so people can order in any of the 3 colors. Also, we also have a number of different styles of rings, which can be also made in platinum and palladium as well.
What's that? Platinum and?
Platinum and palladium. Platinum and palladium are 2 metals which are, let's say, on the silver color, which are naturally that color, so they won't change color over time.
Okay.
The only thing is that, like, for example, for white gold, obviously a wedding is something you're going to wear every day. So it's kind of, it's not that actually the ring changes color, because it doesn't. It's obviously the only thing is that gold is naturally yellow. And to make it white, we just changed kind of the combination of alloys which we mix in the metal. However, then to give it that nice shine, we plate it with rhodium plating. What happens is that over time, that rhodium plating just wears off.
And
so what you need to do is replate it and have it retouched, obviously, to get
but I think regardless, sort of, I mean, if you're going to be wearing this ring for 20, 30 years, at certain points you're going to go and want and
of course
put it in for like a fix-up.
Yes. For sure, I mean, with regards to the rings, generally kind of maybe in the first, 2 to 4 years, you're kind of more like into your ring, so you maybe polish it more and keep it nice and clean, and then it's like just wait, and that's it.
I mean, forgot it on the kitchen sink.
People it becomes something really part of you, so you don't give too much into the coloring of it. But generally, I mean, if it's white gold, and it depends, like if it depends your job, it depends how much you work. How much you use it. So if you just wear it on the weekends,
that's one thing.
There's not much wear and tear to it. But if you wear it every day, and for example, especially for people who work, for example, in healthcare, in hospitals, they use a lot of alcohol. So white gold is not the best thing to have. Generally, for example,
the most common that people go for then when you're saying,
I think
or white on the silver and white.
Mostly people go for a 2-color.
Okay.
A 2-color range, having white and yellow, and some maybe having white and rose. We did have a spike in having people ordering all yellow gold, plain band as well. Lately, people have going back kind of to the root. I mean, it's just a cycle. Everything like just goes back. But also, it's the one that needs least care as well. So
okay, yes, for sure.
That's something maybe people go for as well. And I think when we see maybe our parents' wedding rings are possibly just a plain yellow gold band as well. So
yes,
we kind of get that as well. So, but there are a lot of different options, and maybe the difference would be, for example, we've seen nowadays, for example, if we've seen an increase for the ladies' wedding ring to be maybe with a bit of diamonds on the top, like a half band of diamonds. So before the eternity ring used to be given for a 1-year anniversary. They used to give an eternity ring, which used to be 5 or 7 stones across. To be worn
like
over.
We passed the first year. I think
I love you forever. And that would be worn in front of the wedding ring. That trend has kind of like died down. So obviously we like diamonds, and we put them in our wedding ring.
In a year, like, it's my guy. I think I can do this. All right, so we passed the test.
So we went and included like a half eternity band of diamonds. As a wedding ring. I would not suggest a full eternity, so a full ring of diamonds, because a couple of years down the line, you will start knocking diamonds out left, right, and center. again, it's not a ring that you just wear
They're
like
beautiful.
once every blue moon. They're very nice, but if you're going to use it, you need some solid pieces of gold at the bottom, so that any pressure, even just carrying a bag, if you just have a full band, you're always, making pressure on the claws of the diamond. So like that, not in a year,
but I
in a
mean, at the
couple
end
of
of the
years'
day,
time,
it's a
it
piece
starts
of
knocking
material.
down like crazy. And then it's like, you just need to redo a new band, because so much damage would have happened to it that it's not that easy to repair once they will kind of start falling off. But the diamond wedding bands has increased a lot. Even, for example, if someone does not have an engagement ring, okay,
and
so
they just go
an
for the
element of
one.
yes, and they go just for the one ring. Say, okay, let me just spend a bit more on my wedding ring, and it would have like that little bling, because obviously we still like to have some bling, and just have a wedding band with diamonds. But again, it doesn't have to be very expensive. So again, although we're including diamonds
budget is
in the wedding band, you're not going to suddenly just shoot up to like over €1,000 for a ring, because there are other options which are not that much as well. So just because we mentioned diamonds, it's not like a big, like dollar sign thing. So don't be discouraged. Although prices are very, very across the board, so it's not a problem.
And in fact, I did put on the next question that we had for you, like specifically tips now on the wedding rings. I mean, realistically, all the styles that you're mentioning, they're all absolutely lovely. So I'm sure a person is going to find from budget X to budget whatever, I don't have a budget, and find the right match.
Yes.
All the styles, it's impossible not to find that one in the certain budget that you have that you're going to fall in love with. But are there any specific tips from your end, apart from the budget, with regards to the wedding rings?
So what I do always tell my clients, I mean, let's say the rings are kind of something that you're going to like fall in love with and wear it every day. Again, do keep in mind, whatever your job is, that the ring can take that kind of wear and tear on it if you're going to wear it for work as well. So not just on the type, on the style of the ring, but also the material that you're choosing. Okay. As a ring, as well, I mean, on the whole, just make sure you two try it on. If you do have an engagement ring, make sure to wear your engagement ring when you're choosing your wedding ring, even because of the width of the ring. There are different widths, different thicknesses, and it's something kind of that you do need to try on, because obviously everyone's fingers, the shape is different, the space available for a ring is different. So I could wear a 5mm ring, but on you it would take up half your finger. So it wouldn't fit nicely, although you want to have an idea of what you're looking for. But don't be just stuck. You have to try them on and then see, just like with clothes. I mean, you see what actually fits you right, and what fits your lifestyle right as well. I mean, even if you want, for example, diamonds in your wedding band, but you're going to be wearing it every day, and you don't, for example, have your job is maybe like using a bit more your hands, and you need to carry things around or what's not. There are different styles of wedding bands which are more recommended, even having diamonds, than others. Because if you have something, for example, with claws, you've got a bigger possibility that you're going to catch it on your on things, and that you're going to damage it, and the diamonds fall out faster. So there are different styles, and obviously we will guide you what's best for you.
Super. This has been super, super informative. I never even thought beforehand sort of how many different aspects and points. And I am going to go into the next one. There is a whole after sales as well. I mean, our hands always, like, the ring size will change and everything. So maybe you want to explain for people, even just your after sales process.
So, so obviously, right off when you purchase your rings, generally, we will put them on, they're the right size and everything. As I told you, I don't tell you like every year you have to give them a clean, you have to give them a polish, because it all depends on how much you use the ring and what wear and tear goes to the ring. Do not expect, however, that the ring is going to remain in pristine quality, in pristine condition after it's been worn, because we don't notice how much scratches the rings have and everything. However, at any point in time, you can get the ring over and we can polish it, and if it has kind of like a matte finish or anything, we can refinish the ring as well. But it's something that can be done at any time. So whenever you say it kind of looks a bit, worn out, so let's just give it a bit of a nice spruce up, and they do look beautiful again. I mean, when they're out of the shop. So, and also with regards to sizes, as you said, obviously, yes, our fingers do tend to change size at some point.
Certain, because for example, let's say you have the ring and you have a full band with diamonds going around. Is that going to be possible then to fix sizing?
When you have a full band, it's a bit difficult. That's why we suggest mostly having like a half band or maybe like a 70% round. Why? Because then you've got that little piece of gold at the bottom, so it would make it easier to adjust the size, and also again with regards to not damaging the claws as well. With regards to also diamond wedding rings and engagement rings, do keep, if you notice, obviously you're wearing it every day, but if you notice that your rings are catching onto clothes, for example, more than before, do get it in, because that means that some clothes have raised slightly and they're catching onto your clothes. So like that, they will just check it out, give it a service, and make sure
before something falls off.
Before something falls out.
Okay.
So that's something. Tell me, have diamonds ever fallen out? It can happen. It's not something, I mean, we've sold a large number of rings, most of them don't, but obviously sometimes it happens with everything. I mean, you can knock it off a story and nothing happens, and just 10 centimeters.
Let's take an example, our phones.
Exactly.
Then the simplest fall and
it just so but anything we do, since we also do repairs and sizing on any jewelry, not only whatever is bought from us, but obviously your wedding rings are something that, since they're being worn on a day-to-day basis, they would need some more care along the road.
I do want to ask, because we've been speaking a lot, like with diamonds and everything, and even with trends, but maybe you can, like, for example, between a man and a woman, I'm just going to put it as an example. It might be two men, it might be two women, but do they always go for the same style in the wedding band? Do they change?
Some people prefer to have them the same. However, whatever fits on let's say if we're taking a man and a woman, whatever fits on one finger doesn't necessarily fit nicely on the other.
Yeah.
Although some designs can be adapted with regards to the thickness and width. So you keep the same kind of style overall, but you're going to have different thicknesses and different widths to the ring, which is something that can be done. That's one option if you want to have them the same. However, I mean, nowadays, before it was simple because, you had like 3 designs, like it's either this, or this, and there wasn't much choice. Nowadays, there's so much choice that you shouldn't be tied down kind of to have a matching ring.
Yeah.
Options are endless. You can choose whatever. You're not tied down to one specific style, so you can choose whatever style you prefer, whatever fits your finger. Even if, for example, you want the same style, but maybe you want some diamonds in the ladies' band, you can. So that is something you want them so complementary, but not exactly the same. That can be done as well. And even if I prefer maybe yellow gold and my partner prefers white gold, why should one of us have to kind of like give in so that they're the same?
Exactly.
It's something that each person is going to wear every day. So it has to, you have to like your own ring.
You have to love it, basically, because it's in your face there every day.
Exactly. So, and if you don't really love it, you're going to end up, I mean, if you force your partner kind of to take
just the wedding ring,
a wedding band, they'll just leave it there and possibly not use it. But if, the other person actually really likes the ring, they'll possibly wear it more.
I think I think a wedding, even just planning the whole wedding, I think this is really putting the relationship on a test. Like so, like there has to be an agreement, and
Yes, of
you
course,
go
of
for
course.
something that you
And
really
that's
love.
everyone. I mean, all the clients, all of like, what do you think? To their partners. Like, do you like it? Like, yes, I like it. It's nice on your finger. So it's a mutual agreement, kind of. And
Like,
for whoever actually wants the same ring, because there are some people that say, listen, this is the wedding band. We want something simple, but want the matching. Yes, you can have the matching. And the only thing is, do keep in mind that, for example, sizes vary a lot. So if you're going to, for example, if we're taking a male and female couple, so on, and the female has a very small size, just for this example, and the male has a much larger size, the thickness of the female ring
going to be
would be
different.
lost on the male finger, and vice versa. One
So
would be
then
too big
there's
for
the
the
beauty
finger.
on
So
his,
we
but
can adapt the same ring to fit the different ring sizes, because the size does play a bit on the kind of styles that the person can actually wear. Because I mean, even if you like a nice big chunky ring, it doesn't mean that it would fit nice as a wedding ring. It's just like, I like really big rings to wear as a ring on its own. However, as a wedding ring for every day, then it would be something that I would something a bit more subtle.
And that can match with all the different jewelry then that you're going to be
Exactly.
wearing. I mean,
I think that's why most people they want to go for a 2-color, just because they want to have the yellow gold as a traditional color for the wedding ring, but then make it a bit on white gold so that it matches all their jewelry. However, the wedding ring and the engagement rings are like 2 rings that you can have totally different from your jewelry. Obviously, you're not going to change those rings according to what you're wearing. So those are like exempt from anything. And, you can wear whatever jewelry, and don't matter, like, because I wear mostly white gold jewelry, but I prefer yellow gold band. It's up to you. It's not a problem. Even if your engagement ring is white gold and you want a yellow gold wedding ring, it's not a problem. It doesn't mean that they don't match.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally fine to have it that way. So
okay.
It's not a problem.
Super. All right. So I think we've given all the information where there can be with regards to the engagement and the wedding rings. And like the most tips is, guys, like, choose a budget, stick to that, and then have the jeweler start explaining the different options.
I mean,
I think trust the jeweler.
I mean, we ask a lot of questions when we're coming. When I have a couple in front of me, I end up starting with a lot of questions. It's not like, because you need to get to know what the person wants, what the person's after, what are their style. So I can actually narrow down the large collection that I have. And actually, because if you just look at all the rings, you're just going to get confused and you won't really find the ring. But if with some questions, and having a communication, because obviously to choose wedding rings, things are like around an hour, kind of, and you kind of get to know about the person, and like that we can actually help you out to choose the right rings that fit your style and what you like. Do keep in mind that here we're talking about gold and diamonds, and from the whole wedding, the wedding rings are pretty much one of the only remaining things that you'll have for yourself, and that is going to save your lifetime. So do keep in mind when assessing your budgets on how much you'd like to spend, if you want to set a budget for your rings, do keep in mind that kind of, yes, obviously there are different material options that we can go for to fit the different budgets. However, it's something for yourselves. It's not for your guests at all. It's something that's going to remain yours, and something you're going to use every day forever. So it's something that you need to kind of
small from somewhere else to have that, because you're right. I mean, after the whole day and the honeymoon, all you're left is with photos,
your video maybe, and
most important, and the rings.
And your rings. So that's one of the remaining factors from all your weddings. So although like you're spending a lot of money, yes, and we do give you the option to pay them within 6 months as well. So that kind of maybe is a bit easier on the couples, because yes, it's a time when maybe you're fixing up your house and you've got a lot of expenses, and you're paying all your wedding vendors.
Weddings are an industry that people spend from 10,000 to 70,000, 80,000 on weddings. I mean, if you're going to spend 30,000 on a wedding, maybe you can, find that right budget to
fit in
have,
your wedding rings. Yes.
exactly, to have that memory. And every time you're looking at your hand, you say, wow, what an experience. Cool.
Back like, for example, I had a client who was going to go for a different ring just because of the budget, but a week after, it's like, we discussed it, I'm going to go for the ring I really loved, because again, this is something that's going to remain with me. So
my guests just can have a normal gin and tonic.
But it's true, because sometimes you just say, okay, let me just take this just because of the money. But at the end of the day, you have to really love what you're taking.
And there's a lot of work that people put in to have their wedding day done. I mean, You're looking at a year of constant dealing with different suppliers, trying to find the best one, the most comfortable supplier. And even with jewelry, I mean, the first thing you want to do is find someone that you really click with. So you have a nice conversation, they're showing you get that certain level of trust. Like, for example, with you,
yes, exactly.
There's so much information that you're giving us that automatically I feel comfortable with what you're going to be showing me. And
that's the most important thing.
Yes, exactly.
What I say is, like, from the wedding rings, we're kind of building up a relationship, because obviously we don't just do wedding rings. Wedding rings is something that we really focus on. I mean, we've been doing even the wedding fair for over 20 years. I attended my first wedding fair to sell as much as I could at like age 8. So
wow, okay.
It's something that
brought you into the industry very young.
It's something, I mean, and we treat it as a passion as well. I mean, we love what we do, and again, it's a family-run business. So for us, keeping our clients happy is one of the main targets of our job. So I don't just like go to work. I mean, for me, even single, the wedding fair for me is like a really big highlight, because I get to meet a lot of people and see all the couples, and it's such a nice fun time for them that I really get happy as well. And when they choose the right wedding, it just gives me really
high.
Yes, exactly. It's just really nice. It's a really nice experience.
And since we are mentioning it now, and we are running a bit low on time as well, Elaine,
yes,
but I do want to go through the different jewelry even that people or you can offer for the bride and her team, because it's not just the rings. There are the earrings, the necklaces. Maybe you want to go into it.
The rings are obviously one important part from wedding jewelry, let's say. However, obviously then there's other wedding jewelry. For example, for your bridesmaids, maybe a nice pair of earrings or a necklace, depending on the dress, and obviously for the bride and the parents as well. I mean, it's important to just keep in mind, like, so you're wearing a beautiful gown, and the parents as well are really all nice and dolled up. But then if your jewelry has to match whatever you're portraying as well. So I'm not saying you need to go and buy a really expensive jewelry, but even nowadays, for example, we have lovely collections in sterling silver. So the budget won't go up really high, but some really nice pieces which are really well crafted, and so they don't look cheap. It doesn't look like you're wearing costume jewelry, because the same item can be found in gold and in diamonds.
Yeah.
But you're not spending that much money on that.
But
it has to look nice and rich, because if you have like €1,000 dress on, so with beautiful beading and crystals, and then you've got these pair, that look kind of a bit more, but like fake, you're kind of losing the balance of whatever you're wearing.
And even with the guys, like, they have the cuffs, you have the watch.
Exactly. In fact, we've also gone into a trend when for the grooms we'll have like maybe a nice pair of cufflinks. We also custom make cufflinks with the family crest as well. So their surname crest, which should be something like you're creating a bit of an heirloom as well, that then you can pass down to your children as well.
Cool. I love that.
And that's something very close to their, I mean, I think, I don't know, but most guys are really tied up, to their family name. And that's nice. And even if, for example, I had a couple, a gay couple, and what they did was we did 2 pairs of cufflinks with both their, they went for a double barrel name. So we created one pair with one crest and the other pair with another crest. So when they got married at the ceremony, they had both their own crest, and then they shifted one to each other.
Oh, how
so
sweet.
like that's kind of, they've got both the double barrel heirloom as well for
How
them
cool.
to keep,
You give me
which is
goosebumps
really
telling
nice.
me this.
It's really nice because it's something, your surname is something that stays with you, obviously,
Yes.
forever. So it's something nice, and they're nice. They're silver and they're nicely engraved. So we're not talking like a really large
I
price,
swear. I
but
got this
it's something nice. I
very
like to have. I gave my husband the day before we got married. I gave him that as a gift, and so now it's just something that keeps, because maybe the wedding sometimes a bit more focused. One-sided a bit, because
Yes, that's why I've
but
been
the guys are
trying
just
to
as
guess.
important, and any partner. Okay, so it's just a matter of having something a bit more sentimental. I mean, the wedding is all about creating these sentimental moments, and I think something like that is something that can really kind of touch from the guy's side.
Agreed.
So it's
There's
one other
also
piece.
perhaps maybe even if they're not looking to spend money on buying new jewelry or anything, perhaps even just making sure that they do polish and clean up
Yes,
the
you
jewelry.
can.
For
You
example,
can.
you
Maybe
have a watch from your great grandfather that's been passing down the line, and you get it nicely and
yes,
cleaned up.
we can polish them up. Even your not only the jewelry. So even if maybe your parents we all have some jewelry lying around, and just decide, okay, so I'm going to wear that, and just get it for a nice clean, nice polish. We can also change some things over. Maybe if you want to adjust the length of a choker or a necklace, or you have a pair of earrings but you want to add something to them, you can do
The
something
mother
like
always
that.
has that something hidden piece of jewelry that she's going to
Exactly,
have
and they
ready
can
for you.
either, if they're they go around. So, but you can have them nice, cleaned up. And I think sharing a piece of jewelry for the wedding, again, creating these
How do they say
sentimental
it?
times is
Something new,
important.
something
Something
borrowed,
of borrowed,
something.
something gold, and something blue. So you need
Okay.
something gold. For example, for my wedding, I wore a pair of earrings from my grandma. Who
How
had passed
sweet.
away. So it was something old, but something that's really nice.
Something good,
Obviously, I
something
had to get
borrowed.
them cleaned up before,
Check.
just for them to look nice. Because obviously, over the years, jewelry tends to need a little touch up. But we do all the services as well. So anything, if whatever you have and you need to
New
adjust,
custom
clean.
fixing, cleaning. You're going to
And
be able to get
important
it for
also,
everything.
if you've had your engagement ring for like over a year, get it cleaned before the wedding, because it will look dull on the
Next to
photos
all
as
the
well,
other jewelry then.
next to all the other jewelry. So get it cleaned a month before the wedding. Just put it on the side. Don't wear it that much but so it will look nice and sparkly for all the photos.
ċara fejn ċirket tal-engagement.
It's
Like 3 days
nice.
before the wedding, like, no, don't worry.
Don't lose it.
I am going to go into the last. Well, we have two more, but basically, I know that it's not just jewelry that you guys offer. There's a lot of different items and even gifts.
Yes. So even wedding related, we can also offer, for example, sterling silver frames for the couples to give to their parents. So it's important, even if you're getting maybe, I don't know, you're printing maybe some photos of
Like
the
a family
pre-wedding, or your
photo.
photographer is printing that night for you, and giving them as a nice gift to your wedding party. We have some different frames that can go with that, and we also have champagne flutes for and cake knife sets as well.
Okay.
That can be engraved. We also do the engraving on the cake knives and on the glass as well, on the glass flutes as well, so that you can have them personalized for your wedding. And maybe if you have, for example, we do also do quite like flasks with engraving
I've
for your
seen those.
best
I think
man
that's
or
really
whatever.
cool.
Yes,
Giving that
it's
small gift to your bridal team and
exactly,
the
yes.
team of the groom's team.
And for anyone who wants to take it a bit further, we also have sterling silver pens. in white, nicely hand engraved as well from Waldman. For your signatures, if you want to keep that something, that's something that you keep that was kind of from your wedding as well. So they're quite different. Obviously, we've got other gift items available for every occasion.
Tell everyone, come to the shop, ask for Elaine.
We can take care of you from every,
amazing.
For every occasion. If it's graduations, Holy Communion, confirmations, now we're getting a lot of, obviously, occasions have started up again.
And everything's happening just this summer. I'm hearing a lot.
Exactly. It's all happening really fast now. So we have gifts for every occasion as well, not only, although weddings is like a very big part of our business as well, but our product, as I said.
Speak to you after the show, because now you give me an idea.
But yes, I mean, let's say maybe to conclude, kind of, as at GB Jewellers, as I said, we've been established just under GB Jewellers since 1983, but we have a very long history. For us, it's very important. We are very much involved in the business. We would always obviously love to help our customers, and customer service is always very important to us. We have products from every aspect, as I already mentioned. And now from here also, we're soon enough going to be also having an online shop to serve our customers even better as well. It's a big challenge, obviously, because being that we've got so many products, it's difficult to have everything up and running. But it's something that we're working on as well. Just getting our clients even closer to our products. However, in between, if you have any questions, you can message us on Facebook or on our email. We also do deliveries if you need. Not a problem.
I think the last few months as well has shown us that the digital presence being there is easier. It's not just we have different issues. There's traffic issues, finding parking issues, and everything. So perhaps just having that initial assistance where you have an online meeting or you have an online site, and then there's the customer support assistance, and then even with weddings, you transition into, of course, having the meetings and starting to really build that work. I mean, it's just an easier process for everyone to get to the end result that we're looking for.
Yes, I mean, again, for wedding rings, it's a bit difficult, just as I mentioned, because we do so much customization. I mean, we've got even online programs that we can customize rings and do the different things that the client wants, and you have to build kind of a relationship with the customer as well. But for the different products, kind of the ready-made goods, and the gifts, yes, you can message us whatever you need. We can send you pictures, and we can get things rolling until our online site is totally up and running. But yes, we try and
the future of jewelers is going online now as well.
Yes,
super.
Yes.
Outlet number 4. Your father should be very proud.
Yeah, I hope. No, we've worked hard on this.
Definitely,
it takes some time, but yes.
You can tell. There's a certain level, everything you're talking about, and some when you meet a person and they really have a passion for what they're trying to give as a service, it comes off straight away of a person. So I mean, well done on that.
Thank you.
Elaine, we've passed over an hour, so yes, I am going to see if you have any final words for our viewers before we end the show.
So thank you for everyone who has joined this live session. Thank you to you, Alberta, for this opportunity to present myself and obviously GB Jewellers and what we do. What I tell anyone who has any questions, they can feel free to message us on our Facebook page or on our email, and we can get back to you as quick as possible. And again, we do all the services, and all the products are all available from us. So literally, we can build a relationship to last. And our customer service is something that we really strive for. So customers are always the most important element for us as well. So we try and keep the best relationship possible together.
Cool. Amazing. Thank you very much, Elaine. Thank you very much for taking the time and accepting to come onto the show with us.
Yes,
I
thank
love
you.
to have you as the first supplier with jewellery that we had on the Get Hitched Wedding live chat show. I am going to wave you goodbye.
Bye, thanks.
Take care for now. See you soon.
Ciao, bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao. So there you have it, guys. That was Elaine Vella from GB Jewelers, who explained to us all the different aspects with regards to engagement rings, jewellery, wedding rings, how important the different tips and everything. I do urge you guys, like if you have any questions or anything, do go to and ask for Elaine or ask any of their sales team in the different outlets to help you out. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care for now, and thanks again.